Hello everyone, and welcome back to California Real Estate 101. This is part 2 of our series designed to demystify the world of real estate right here in the Golden State. If you missed part 1, we covered the fundamentals, what real estate really is, who the key players are in any transaction, and a step-by-step overview of the buying process in California. I highly recommend checking that video out if you haven't already. Today we're building on that foundation. We're rediving into a topic that is crucial for any aspiring homeowner or investor: the different types of properties and the various ways you can own them. Understanding this is absolutely essential before you even start looking at listings, because the type of property you choose and how you hold the title can have huge long-term implications for your finances, your lifestyle, and your legal rights. So, let's get started with California Real Estate 101 Part 2, Property Types and Ownership Basics. First up, let's talk about property types. When people think of buying a home, they usually picture a single-family home, and for good reason. This is the classic American dream, a detached house on its own piece of land or lot. You own the structure and the land it sits on. This gives you the most freedom and privacy. You can paint your house any color you want, landscape the yard however you like, and you don't share any walls with your neighbors. The trade-off, of course, is that you are solely responsible for all maintenance, from the roof to the foundation to mowing the lawn. Next, we have condominiums, or condos. When you buy a condo, you own the individual unit itself, basically the space inside your walls, but you don't own the land underneath it. Instead, you share ownership of the common areas with all the other owners in the complex. These common areas include things like the land, hallways, elevators, swimming pools, gyms, and the building's exterior. To manage and maintain these shared spaces, all condo owners pay monthly fees to a homeowners association, or the HOA has rules, known as covenants, conditions, and restrictions, or CC&Rs, that govern what you can and can't do with your property, which can range from what color you can paint your front door to rules about pets or renting out your unit. Then, there are townhouses. Townhouses are a bit of a hybrid between a single-family home and a condo. Structurally, they are individual houses that share one or more walls with neighboring units. You typically own the structure and sometimes a small piece of land, like a front yard or a back patio. Like condos, townhouses are almost always part of an HOA that manages common areas and sets rules for the community. They often offer more space and privacy than a condo, but with less maintenance than a traditional single-family home. Another category you might see is a COP, short for cooperative housing. COPs are much less common in California than in places like New York City, but they do exist. Here's the key difference. When you buy into a COP, you aren't buying real property directly. Instead, you are buying shares of stock in the corporation that owns the entire building. In return for your shares, you get a proprietary lease that gives you the right to live in a specific unit. The entire building is managed by a COP board, which is elected by the residents. This board has significant power and can approve or deny potential buyers, which can make COPs trickier to buy and sell. Finally, let's briefly touch on multifamily properties. These are properties that contain more than one residential unit, like a duplex, triplex, or fourplex. You could live in one unit and rent out the others, which is a popular strategy known as house hacking. This can be a fantastic way to have your tenants help pay your mortgage and build wealth through real estate. So, you've chosen a property type. Now, how will you actually own it? This brings us to the second part of our discussion: ownership structures, or how you hold title. This is recorded on the deed, which is the legal document that proves ownership. In California, there are several common ways to hold title. The simplest is sole ownership. This is when one person, and only one person, holds the title. If you're single, this is how you'll likely take title. It's straightforward. You have the sole right to use, sell, or will the property to someone in your estate plan. Now what if you're buying with someone else? This is where it gets more interesting. The most common method for married couples or registered domestic partners in California is community property. In a community property state like ours, any property acquired during the marriage is presumed to be owned equally by both spouses, a 50-50th split. Both partners have equal management and control. If one spouse passes away, their 50% share automatically goes to the surviving spouse. Unless the will states otherwise, there's a special version of this called community property with right of survivorship. It's very similar, but it adds an important feature. The right of survivorship means that if one spouse dies, their share of the property automatically transfers to the surviving spouse without having to go through the lengthy and often costly probate court process. This is a very popular choice for married couples because of its simplicity and the protection it offers the surviving partner. What if you're buying with someone you're not married to, like a friend, a relative, or a business partner. For that, you have tenancy in common. This is the default method for unmarried co-owners. With tenancy in common, each owner can have a different percentage of ownership. For example, one person could own 70% and the other could own 30%. Crucially, there is no right of survivorship. This means if one owner dies, their share doesn't automatically go to the other owners. Instead, it passes to their heirs as specified in their will or trust. This makes it a flexible option for investment partners or family members who want their share to go to their own children. Finally, there's joint tenancy. Like community property with right of survivorship, joint tenancy also includes the automatic right of survivorship. If one joint tenant dies, their interest immediately passes to the surviving joint tenant or tenants, avoiding probate. The key difference from tenancy in common is that all joint tenants must have equal ownership shares. So if there are 2 owners, it's 50/50. If there are 3, it's 1/3 each. All owners must take title at the same time and on the same document. This is often used by family members, like a parent and child, who want the property to pass directly upon death. A quick note, a living trust is another powerful tool for holding title. While not technically a vesting option itself, you can title the property in the name of your trust. This offers significant advantages, including avoiding probate and providing clear instructions for what happens to the property if you become incapacitated or pass away. This is a topic that overlaps with estate planning, and we always recommend consulting with an estate planning attorney to determine the best strategy for your specific situation. Choosing the right property type and ownership structure is a major decision. A single-family home offers autonomy, while a condo offers convenience. Tenancy in common provides flexibility for investors, while community property with right of survivorship offers protection for spouses. Each choice has legal and financial consequences. Your real estate agent and a qualified real estate attorney or financial advisor can help you navigate these options to make sure you're resetting yourself up for success from day one. And that's a wrap for part 2. We've covered the main property types you will encounter in California and the fundamental ways you can hold title to your property. I hope this clears things up and gives you more confidence as you move forward. In the next episode of California Real Estate 101, we will dive into one of the most asked about topics, how pricing works. We'll explore market value, listing price, and what actually determines a home's final sale price. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss part 3. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.